On my way home. It is, what do we got here? 11:31. 11:31 at night. The snow is coming down. It's kind of weird. There's no wind. And with the lights and the snow just kind of hanging around, it almost felt like we were in a snow globe in the 14. I don't know how to explain it. I don't remember ever experiencing that before. It was kind of weird. I guess we'll start with the good race. Mounts for All raced good. I got away about as good as I could. I knew that the Miller kid had dropped in front of me, and I could tell the way he was just kind of peeking a little bit that he knew where he was. He was following the favorite in Aaron. But I don't want him in between myself and Aaron. I don't want to be third over behind the favorite in a long shot. And when you're sitting behind a favorite or a horse that you're pretty sure is a good horse to follow, especially on a half-mile track, and what you want to do is get Aaron out and going and follow him out of the hole. But I don't want him to do that. And I know that Aaron's not going to eagerly commit to the outside from fourth, right? He's going to take all the time he can. When he gets underway, he's coming full bore. That's exactly how he's going to race. But I don't want the Miller kid coming out. Well, the only thing you can't do is that long shot in behind a favorite is commit early. What if Aaron's horse isn't good tonight? What if he's rough? What if the trainer told him that the horse is just getting over the virus and he's trying not to race him or her too hard? It happens. And Aaron was not committing right away. The Miller kid Emmanuel moved to the outside a little bit, and Aaron didn't even look, didn't even phase him. So I waited, and as soon as he went back in, because he doesn't want to be first over, he wants to be second over. But I'm going to force his hand. You have to make your decision right now. Make your decision right now, or I'm coming. And as soon as he drifted back to the inside, just to stall a little time, then I come with Mounts for All. Now I'm already out and around his wheel. There's nothing he can do about it. He can't get out now. So I'm out first over. I just take my time after I get around his wheel. I just take my time and wait for Aaron to come. And he came right away. Come to the outside, and he's underway. Now, the one thing I can say about Mounts tonight, we added a Murphy blind because he was running in on the turns. He was running in even more tonight, which is odd. I really can't put my finger on it. I'm sure it's something small. Maybe he needed a little work on his knee or a hock or something. He didn't seem off or lame to me, but he was biting that line, and really it cost us the win because when I got him moving, if he was advancing in that far turn, momentum alone, I would have outsprinted Chris. It's just he would take 3 steps forward and kind of sashay sideways a little bit, and you're left checking him. As Steve Conran used to say, he was leaking. You're leaking in, and then you got to check him. Checking and leaking in the last turn. And we were second. He raced good. And, coming off a break, I really couldn't, it's not like I could get him in gear and maybe strike him one in the last turn and get him moving a little quicker than maybe even he wanted to in fear of him making a break. We're having a terrible couple of days. And the last thing I want to do is compound it, right? I had to be a little safe with Mounts tonight, so I just left him alone. I knew I surveyed it around the last turn. I said, well, we might get there, but we're definitely second. Don't protect second. How's that? Win if you can, but for the love of God, protect second. And that's exactly what we did. The track was in better shape tonight. I drove over to the maintenance shop today. Nice guys. The maintenance guys are much like maintenance anywhere, right? They never get any thanks or congratulations. You only hear from people when they're walking in to yell at you. It's just a thankless job. And I try to make a note, when we had our open house, I sent over some pizza and stuff, some coffee to them, thanking them for having the track as good as they could. I just thought I'd stop it and talk to them. And this is what happens. So just because I think a track should be a certain way does not mean I'm right? I am no expert on dirt. I can tell you that. I've raced in a lot of racetracks. I can tell you how I want the track. but I can't tell you how to make it that way. And I said that to them. I said, listen, I was always told you really can't complain about a problem unless you have a solution. You shouldn't anyway. I don't have a solution. So we talked for a while, and I said, here's the thing. I had voiced my opinion. I thought the track was too deep last night. Some of the drivers had said, no, underneath that dirt is ice, and if you don't have a cushion on it, there's nothing for the horses to get into. I don't really subscribe to that, but I can't say that I'm right and they're wrong. I don't know. And I told them, and this went back 15 years ago in Georgian Downs, and this is the same at every track. The horsemen and the maintenance staff are always at odds. Always, and there's no need of it. What you need to do is appoint one person, not 5, not 3, not a committee. Everybody likes, we want a track committee. No, because the track committee has all their other little people that they talk to, and they end up with different opinions. So it doesn't matter. You're back to square one. You need one person that is going to take in all the thoughts of everybody and then make a decision. And it doesn't matter. It should be somebody that's there every night. And they were warm to the idea, but I don't want to get up over my skis either. That may be none of my business either. We may race at Northfield. We may have horses in the backstretch, but at the end of the day, I'm no different than anybody else that races there. So I don't want to overplay my hand, so to speak. They seemed very warm to the idea, and I said, listen, would it make sense to maybe cut the track, roll it, screen it, maybe hit it with the harrow, but with the intention of maybe having it somewhere between hard and what you had it last night? I think we might be able to do that, he said. Very nice man. And they did. They did a fantastic job. If you had asked me, how do you want the track tonight? What's best case scenario for tonight? That would have been it. So a great job by the track crew, having the track as good as you can. And I told them it's not their fault. It was raining last Saturday evening, and it was a tundra on Sunday, a flash freeze with a saturated track. Not an ideal situation for a track crew or a track. There's nothing you can do about it. And now that it stayed frozen, as I said to them, nothing short of molten lava would melt that track. Nothing. There's nothing you can do. It's done. But they had it pretty good tonight. So good job to them. So Mounds race good. I told you we just need to have the vet go over him, figure out if we can. I remember too, he used to get on that line a little bit. He's on it a little harder. It cost him the win tonight. If I could advance in the last turn and get a run at Chris, get out around Aaron and get a clear run at Chris, I beat him. But it was just 3 steps forward, 1 step, maybe 2 steps sideways, and you're constantly checking them. Checking is leaking. And then Leggy she was just terrible. She was bad 3 weeks ago. Her blood was all screwed up. We trained her the other day. She wasn't awesome, but it was a decent training mile. We took her blood after. It was well within the norm. The vet gave us the green light to race her. So she was moderately tight. Her blood was in the green, so to speak. Now, is it right now? Did she tie up a little bit? I don't think so. She was just bad. And I'm going to tell you why. I can tell you exactly why. Because when horses that are just okay are not perfect, they look terrible. Probably her first start, she was firing on all cylinders. Looked okay. Looked like we could really use that as a foundation race. She might be okay. Still a long way to what you would consider a stake horse of any caliber. But on her way. Next start a little flat. Blood was the reason. Fixed the blood, trained her up. She didn't train that great. Took her blood again. Her blood wasn't bad. Everything was kind of close enough, or in the norms, or close to the norms, where she should have been able to function. But she couldn't. And that's exactly why, because she's just an okay horse. She wasn't gifted with enough ability to overcome an okay day. And that's not me being angry at her. You guys many of you have either been in horse racing or around horses long enough to know that there is sometimes just a sliver of a difference between a good horse, a bad horse, a functioning horse, a horse that just isn't competitive. That level of overnight, grassroots, sire stake, and grand circuit. You might say those are massively different watermarks. No, they're not. Not at all. Now, maybe poor to Grand Circuit is, but everything in between is very fluid sometimes. And the difference between, well, I'll tell you what, I use her name a lot, just because she was very similar to Leggy. A little different in the sense that she raced it too, but was runaway. I'm talking about Coupe de Ville. She was runaway. I really didn't know if she could be even remotely useful at 3. She came out, raced okay, and got better and better and better. She grew and matured into a functioning horse. She wasn't a crushing winner in the Buckeyes. She was competitive. Really good overnight horse. Decent stake horse. But turned out to be a horse that I had a lot of respect for. And the difference between that path and trajectory and the one that Leggy started on, not that different at all. And I guess it really boils down to you either got it or you don't. She don't. That's the way it is. Now, she might be a racehorse, but she's not going to be a stake horse. So the weirdest thing happened. I'll say his name because he said I could. Davey Beachy, an Amish buyer here, an Amishman himself. Really nice guy. If you're in this area, you know who Davey Beachy is. Good guy. He comes up and he says, the mare for sale. That filly, Leggy. Yep, probably. How much you want? I said, I'll be completely honest with you. There was another Amish guy, 3 young kids, couldn't have been more than 21, 22 at the most. Came up to me after her last start. Come over to the barn, we had her out on the floor, they looked at her, they were interested, and I said, I know she wasn't good tonight, but I think she's better than that. We're going to take her blood, work on it. We'll see what happens. He said, okay, keep me in mind. He said, there's a young man that asked about this filly. I'd, just out of respect, I think I should let him know that she's on the market now. Now I'm thinking Davey's going to offer me $9,000 or $10,000. He said, I'll go back to the barn and look at her. I said, okay. I messaged a young man back, Matt, I believe his name is. He said, Matt, I wasn't really enthusiastic with the way Leggy raced tonight. There's a good chance that she's going to be up for sale. Davey Beachy's going to look at her right now at the barn. If you want to make an offer, now would be the time. I didn't even hit send, and another message comes in. Another guy. Amish guy? She got that high gate, I guess. I don't know. Would you be interested in selling Leggy? Why? Yes. In fact, we have the makings of a public auction right now. So there's 2 other people right now that would like a shot at that mare. 1, 2, 3. Another guy messages me. This guy a little more generic. I don't think he was necessarily after Leggy. He was after a horse. Mr. McDonald, any horses for sale? I said, man, oh man, is your timing good. I said, I have a filly that raced tonight, got a beautiful gait, decently bred. 3 people are looking to buy her right now. If you want in, let me know. Her name's Leggy. This goes on for an hour and a half. Back and forth and back and forth. You know, in the the slowest auction on planet Earth. 10, 10-5, 11. Can't give you more than 11. You're out. Guy said 11-5. Davey said, well, it's going to take 12 to buy her. And as he said that, I may have typed Davey's offering 12. Now, in hindsight, it's lost in translation, maybe. Now, this has gone on for well over an hour. I don't know whether the gentleman on the other end of the phone was a little frustrated or what. He said, I will give you $14,000 right now. Put this to bed. Go race your last horse. Have a good night. And that's what happened. Sold. So Leggy was sold tonight, and that was the most unique. I've never had that happen in my life. I've never had 4 people ask to buy a horse after the race and then literally undertake a public auction in slow motion. Never had that happen. But it did. And she sold. So, we're just going to continue to chip away at the horses that just aren't quite good enough. You guys know that. It's not surprising. As I said, I'm not angry at Leggy. I'm just convinced that she's not going to be, certainly not stake material. She might be some sort of overnight material, but not for us. She won't be the last either. Likely won't be the last in the month of February, but we'll continue to whittle down our roster until we do have a full contingent of effective, useful, competitive horses. And tonight is just one more step forward. So, with that, I'm going to let you go. I was happy with Mounts for All. I'm sure we can improve on that. He was relatively safe, sound, or biting the right line. Not really sure why. That'll be up to Dr. Latessa to discern tomorrow. We sold Leggy. Looking forward to Irresistible Sun racing tomorrow. But before I go to the Meadows, we have some horses that are in on Sunday training. Didn't have the best draws, right? We got, let me see, I know we have 4 in on Sunday. Patrick DePerona drew good, 3. No one else did. First start back for a 3-point blue chip. First start ever on a half-mile track. We'll see how he races. He's going to need a start. That's a salty bunch of horses. It's backup class. Memory and Imagination drew 7 also. Again, salty enough field. He's moderately good right now. We're going to train him up tomorrow. See how he is. And then JK Victory drew 6. I mean, we all know what happens when you retreat with JK Victory off the gate, so I'm going to be going forward. It's just a matter of where I end up. There's no 2 ways to put that. So that's what's going on Sunday. That's what's going on tomorrow morning. We're training them. Friday, Saturday is going to be super busy. I have about, I think, 12 or 13 sophomores to train, all of which are getting ready to qualify, some of which you'll see qualify next week. Now, I'll be completely frank with everybody. Yeah, they're calling for above freezing temperatures and a chance of rain at the Meadows Tuesday. I only bring that up because they're also calling for above zero, above freezing temperatures in Northfield with a decent chance of rain next Thursday. Both places can fluctuate, they can change at any moment. But as of right now, we have them slated to qualify, and our only 2 qualifying days are in the mud, which won't happen. So there's nobody that has to qualify right now. So we will train them all up. I have 6, 8, 9 horses slated to train faster than 2.5 at Northfield Park on Friday morning. And then we have every single 2-year-old slated to go out the door on Saturday. No, we're not videoing on Saturday. The horses never trained all week. It'll be a slow training mile on Saturday. Above average seasonal temperatures for next week. But if it looks like there's going to be a decent day, we will train. Listen, I hope it's nice Thursday. We get them all qualified. That's only hurdle number 1 of Thursday. Hurdle number 2 will be, we need, looks like money's open to fill. They generally put the open in race 1. Qualifiers are at 11 a.m. I have to leave at 10:30 at the very latest, and that's even pushing it. 10:20 I have to leave to make it for the first race. So if the weather looks like it's going to be okay, and we don't go to the Meadows Tuesday, but we opt to go stay at home and qualify on Thursday, I have to grovel and see if I can get the open trot moved to race 3, race 4. Race 5 would be great. Doesn't always happen that way, though. So we'll see. That's what's floating around in my head right now. Lots going on right now in the barn. It's been a slower week, but I can physically feel things starting to ramp up again. It was not that cold tonight. It's going to be okay tomorrow. It's going to be cold in the morning. We have 5 to train in the morning that are all in. Must be 4. No, we're going to train Century Legion up really good also Thursday, and likely Cadeau will likely train good also, and then everybody else trains Friday and Saturday, and I mean everybody else. Now, the most difficult part of the day for me I didn't get any, time is on my side, didn't get in Friday, so I'm not going. No drives for Anthony on Friday. Because the uncertainty of next week, I'm going to take Ollie to Ontario. And it's going to suck this week. I'm going to have to drive him to Ontario Friday. Practice is from 5 to 7, 5:30 to 7. At 7:01, we're going to make our way back to Ohio. We'll be back just before midnight. Got to train all the babies on Saturday morning. That is a must for this week because I have no idea what's taking place next week. A lot going on. 20 minutes, wow. A lot going on this week at the stable, although it's been slow to this point. It's about to start getting very serious here over the next week or so with a ton of horses qualifying. So, for all my partners in Leggy, we did the best we could. I think everybody can agree on that, hopefully. For my partners on Mounts for All, he raced good. He'll be better next week. A decent second. For everybody else, all my other partners and all the horses, good luck if you're racing the rest of the week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all interesting days with horses racing. A lot of horses racing in Ontario right now, too. Very interesting timelines as we move into the weekend here in Ohio and Ontario. I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll give you an update on the way to the Meadows, letting you know exactly who did what. Should be a good day. A lot of fun. Take care. I will talk to you tomorrow. Go to bed.